Hey everybody, I am here to talk to you briefly about my methodology for when I'm making a deck. Pretty much when I'm just bored of whatever I'm playing, and I'm like, I want to make a deck with whatever's in my collection. I'm gonna go find something, I'm gonna make a deck out of it. Generally speaking, I usually have three different things, maybe four, we'll say four different things that come to mind when I'm gonna pick a deck. One would be just colors. So like I want to make a white red deck, or I want to make a green black deck, or a red black deck. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Sometimes I just want to play certain colors if I haven't been playing them, or I need to because Magic wants to give me gold if I play certain colors. So that's one way. Another way is sometimes I'm kind of in love with a card that I see in Standard, and I'm just like, that card's super cool. I want to make a deck around it, and I'll show you guys some of these decks that I created are a result of just a specific card appealing to me and me building a deck around synergizing with that card in terms of its mechanics. Then I have just archetype. Sometimes I just want to make an archetype like green blue tempo, whatever, something like that, or blue red burn. I just want to make an archetype deck that fulfills, is like a deck that I used to play in the past, or that Magic players who've been around for a long time are very used to seeing some kind of vestige of it over and over and over again in Standard or just in any context. And then the last way that sometimes I come up with the deck ideas, I just see a synergy, and it's too good to not go for some kind of deck. Usually that is closely related to the falling in love with one card type of thing. So my objective with making this will really be to kind of help you guys just figure out how to make decks with whatever cards you have, because we can't always make the best top deck with the cards that we have in our collection unless we're dumping money into arenas. So in general, and on stream, I tend to build these things kind of quickly. I'm just like, this is good, this is bad, that's good, this is bad, and all of a sudden I'm done making the deck. So I wanted to just slow it down, get a little more in depth with some of the thought processes behind each random deck that I make. This is a great way to help you guys make more original decks than just relying on the internet to build a deck for you, so you guys can become better deck designers as well. Okay, so we have green blue tempo here first, and the way a tempo deck kind of historically works, and I'm sure this is arguable, is you as a tempo player, you want to be slowing your opponent's turns and making what they do take longer to achieve, essentially. And while doing that, eventually you play something that is enough of a threat or an issue or card advantage generator or advantage generator that they're too late to deal with the board state that you're going to start creating, or the amount of control you have over the board state. So generally speaking, in tempo decks, you see cards like that bounce or return a permanent to your opponent's hand, or a creature to your opponent's hand. These kinds of cards are really good in tempo because they don't just remove your opponent's best play, they make them have to pay for it again. And sometimes that might not seem that good, but in the right deck, it's better than destroying the card, because it essentially wastes all of their mana and all of their turn for an entire turn, and then in order to just get the same spell out there, they have to do the same thing. So once it gets, if a deck especially plays anything in the 3, 4, and 5 drop plus range, you really waste a lot of their time. If they play a creature that costs 5 mana and you just bounce it back to their hand, it gives you a lot of time, because not only does that creature not get to hurt you next turn, it has to be casted next turn, and then it has summoning sickness, so it's going to be another 2 turns before it's effective anyway. And in a deck like this, where you're refilling your hand through Chemist's Insight and Divination, or for example, hitting the kicker on Blink of an Eye, where it just cantrips itself, which is drawing a card. When a card replaces a card is cantripping, then they're way behind you, and they have to replay all those cards again. So I have things like a little bit of ramp in the deck, because so that I get to these abilities a little quicker. I have some counter spells in the form of Syncopate, Sinister Sabotage. I have some bounce spells in the form of Selective Snare, Blink of an Eye, Exclusion Mage. This is a tried and true type of tempo card here. Play a creature, it can block or chump block, and it bounces your opponent's card. It's perfect. Murmuring Mystic is kind of one of the ways that I win. Got a really big butt, so it can defend. It's a 1/5, so it can block up the board really, really well. But also, most of this deck is sorcery and instant speed spells, or sorcery and instants. So after a certain point in time, if this deck is starting to move forward, it's pretty much a bird a turn, and those birds are what you can comfortably attack. And you can either chump with them if you need to, but you can attack with them and eventually knock down your opponent to their death. Then I have a little bit of card draw. A tempo deck needs to refill its hand. If it doesn't, it's going to just be spending spells to bounce cards back, and they will eventually replay them. That's when that's bad. Is if you don't replenish the cards in your hand, or you have no synergies that allow you to stay ahead after they replay that card. Then I have some finishers in the form of Dream Eater and Nezahal. Nezahal is just for control decks if I run into them in best of ones. And then Dream Eater is just perfect in this deck because it bounces a creature, it's flash and flying, so it can finish a game, and then it also digs me 4 cards deep on a Surveil 4 to find exactly what I need if I need something specific. River's Rebuke is just fun. Send all your opponent's stuff back to their hand, make them feel bad. Okay, that's green-blue tempo. So as I was making this video, I realized I had 2 Carnage Tyrants that I should probably be playing in this deck. So I very quickly cut Nezahal, and I cut Selective Snare, and then I also cut River's Rebuke for Vivian Reed, because each of these is more aggressively costed and makes my control matchup very good, and are fantastic cards that can just close games out, if they're, especially with some rampers in the deck where I can play them on turn 4, turn 5, and just make big problems fast. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I plan on making these videos, just going through my thought process on these decks, so that I can help you guys a little bit more. I want you guys to feel comfortable with communicating with me on Twitter or through my Discord when I'm streaming, or even commenting in here. If you guys want some help with a deck, don't hesitate to hit me up, because I want newer players that are just getting into deck designing, making their own decks, to feel like they've made the right decision. And I want to give you guys like a resource that you can at least bounce off of. Eventually, I hope to have a community that can do that for each other as well. Okay guys, that's all for this video. I'm going to be going through another one shortly though, so look out for that. Hope this helped you guys. So take care, see you on stream.